It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay.
Hey, welcome. So we're going to do a more of a yin style yoga today. For those of you that have been coming when we used to have the yoga at nighttime, we almost always, let me adjust my screen. We almost always did the yin to try to counter some of the workouts that you're doing throughout your week with the other trainers. So if you haven't been before, my name is AJ. I teach on 9:30 on Sundays. And we try to do a second Sundays in the park each week. So check us out. We meet at Curtis Park. But today we're in our living rooms or bedrooms or wherever you may be doing this. So I'm glad you're here. And we're going to just start with some seated breathing. So if you can close your eyes, if you feel comfortable, do that now and find a comfortable seat. Lengthen your spine. Take a few deep breaths just on your own without my guidance. It can be as long or short as you want. And bring some even inhales and exhales in through your nose and out through your nose if you haven't already. And as we start to move into these stretches, these poses, you want to find the edge just before discomfort. So only you know your body and where that is. And in this style of yoga, it is important to bring in a longer hold into each pose than in other types of yoga. So you start to really get into the deeper tissues in your muscles, in your ligaments. They say that you need to, they say that you need to hold a pose for at least 2 minutes, some of these, in order to find the benefit of it. So if you get distracted, want to move out of it, just try to bring yourself back to your breath and the fact that you deserve rest. The world is demanding, kids are demanding, the trainers are demanding. I mean, you can go through the list. I'm sure you have your own list. And they're not bad necessarily or good. They just are. You deserve rest. And start to bring some small head rolls to the right. Maybe larger. And to the left. I'm going to have you bring your right arm up over your head and then wrap it over towards the left ear. You don't have to necessarily grab your ear. And just gently bring your neck over to the right side. You're not going to hold these ones for 2 minutes yet. So, and then nice and gently let go. Lift your left hand up. Bring it over to the right side. Guide your head down towards the floor. Go down and release. Take another head roll. And then bring your hands up over your head and bring your chin down towards your chest. Keep breathing. Go ahead and release. Let your neck slowly roll up. And let it fall back. Bring your hands to your knees. Nice and slow up. And bring your right arm up over your head. And then twist over towards the left. Bring your left hand behind you and your right hand on your left knee. Come back to center. Lift the left hand. Right hand comes behind. Bring it over onto your right knee. With each inhale, try to bring some more length to your spine, reaching the top of your head up towards the ceiling, and each exhale, twisting, pretending to twist. Come on back to center. You're going to find your knees and kneel on them. And then flex your toes behind you. So your toes are down on the mat, heels are pointing back towards the wall behind you. And you're just going to sink back on to your heels as much as you can. You should start to feel this fairly intensely. A few more breaths. Go ahead and come back up, flip those feet. You might do that. I don't know what you even call that. Kicking. Then bring your wrists and put your hands opposite way. So instead of face down or palms down, you're more on your backs of your hands. And you're not putting all your weight into your wrists, but you can kind of slowly put some and then back off a little bit. Stay with your breath. And come back off of that. Place your hands down. You can take your knees wide if it feels comfortable, or you can keep them together and reach back into a child's pose. And rest. And try to pick a place in your body you might be holding more tension, or tension that you didn't even know you were holding. Maybe your jaw's clenched, shoulders tight. Try to release some tension. And then slowly start to walk your hands back up. You're going to come onto your belly. And place your elbows in front of you, palms face down. This is Sphinx pose. Try to draw your shoulder blades towards one another. Sink the shoulders away from the ears. Deep breath. Five more breaths here. And on your fifth breath, when you get there, bring yourself all the way down onto the mat. Face your left cheek on the mat. And then you're going to take your left hand and start to push your body up, and then your right arm comes out to a T, reaching out towards the right wall to the right of you. You're going to start pushing your body up, bend your knees, and roll over to your side. So you just kind of like got that arm out, reaching to the right, head still down on the mat. And then you'll start to bring your left foot behind your right leg. You might bring your left arm behind your back. And there's an option to just extend the left leg instead of planting the left foot behind you. Again, scan for somewhere where there's tension. There doesn't need to be there. Two more breaths. And then nice and slow, gently start to roll back onto your belly. Adjust yourself. And we'll take it to the other side. Plant that right hand, roll over to your side. And then bring the right foot behind, planted with the knee pointed up towards the ceiling. I'm going to bring your right hand behind your back. And maybe extend the right leg long. And if any version of this feels like a little bit much, you can always bring it back to wherever we were. So you might just try lying with your knees bent, kind of in a fetal position instead of doing all this extra leg stuff. And that's fine. It's your body, it's your yoga. And find 5 more even breaths. Releasing tension. And then bring yourself back onto your belly. We're going to go to half frog. So you're going to bring your right leg up, your knee up towards the top of the mat. Open up kind of like if you were sleeping in your belly. If you fall asleep, it's okay. And try to relax the muscles in your feet all the way up your leg. Inner thigh and outer thigh. And slowly start to move the right leg back to straight. You're going to switch sides, bringing that left knee up, opening the hip out, and keep your right ear on the mat. And if at home there's anything that would make the rest of our time in this yin class better for you. So that could be, I wish I would have brought a pillow for this class, or I wish I would have put my music on. Give yourself permission to do that. While at home, while virtual, there's many things that we can't access that we access in person. And then while you're there, you can go get stuff. You can pause, come back, mute, get what makes it more comfortable. If you're cold, any of those things. Two more breaths here. I'm going to have you get up slowly, gently. Find hands and knees. Bring a little movement in. Give you another chance to fall asleep in a few minutes. We can move. So maybe make some figure eights while you're on hands and knees. And take a few cat-cow poses. So on your inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest. Exhale, curl in the spine, look back towards your toes, drop, inhale. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, drop, lift the chest. Exhale, curl in. Two more. And then you come around onto a seat again with your legs long. So bringing in one of the stretches that we do often standing in our vinyasa classes, but seated instead. So lift your arms up towards the sky. You're going to reach down towards your toes. You don't have to touch them, but if you can, go ahead. Hold there. And then flatten your back and lift your fingertips to your shins. Then exhale, fold back down toward your toes. Then inhale, lift up arms overhead. Exhale, fold over your toes. Few breaths there. Inhale, lift fingertips to your shins or your knees, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up fingertips. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take 3 rounds of that. One breath, one movement. Lifting up your arms first. Exhale, folding over the toes. And as you finish your last one, bring your legs wide. So you're going to adjust yourself on your mat. Legs wide, back straight. Kind of like you're doing a standing forward fold, but we're not standing. And then start to hinge yourself forward. Try to keep your back kind of straight to start. You'll have time to fold in. You can bring both of your hands out in front of you. And with each breath, sinking maybe a little tiny bit more forward. You might be finding that edge of discomfort, or you might already be there. Give yourself permission to pull out a little bit, or you can go in. You can stay in there. If you haven't already, release that tension in your back. You can let your shoulders sink forward. Let your neck get heavy. Release the tension. Let your head release. Notice if you've gotten further into this than you thought you could. Maybe your elbows are hovering over the ground or touching now. And with each breath, picture yourself sinking further down on the exhale. And then nice and slow, start to push yourself back up. Lengthen your spine. And bring your right foot long and cross the left foot on the outside of your right leg. You're going to find another twist. So the left knee is bent. You can either grab onto the left thigh with your hand, or you can try to hook your elbow on the outside, bringing your left hand behind you. And go ahead and bring it back to center. Cross the left foot on the outside of the right foot on the outside of the left leg. And then find your twist. Come back to center. And now find your way onto your back. Take the soles of your feet and bring them together. Your arms can be either at a T or a goal post like this, or you might bring your hands to maybe your hip bones, or one hand to your belly, one to your chest, whatever feels good for your hands. You got lots of options. We're just going to stay here for a couple minutes. And picture the knees drawing further out towards the side walls. Try to release some tension around your hips. In your jaw, release tension if there's some there. Now you can guide your hands down to your thighs to give them a little bit of an assist in getting out of this. Start to walk your feet out to the outer edges. Bring your knees in towards each other. You can do this nice and gently. And now your feet, soles of your feet are on the mat. Your knees are up towards the ceiling. You're going to cross your left knee over your right. And then listen. Pick your hips up off the mat and hover them and drop them over to the left about 2 or 3 inches. Now let your knees fall over to the right. Your arms are out to a T or goal posts, and your gaze is off over your left shoulder, but your eyes are probably closed. For the last bit of the pose, straighten your left leg. Doesn't have to be all the way straight. And slowly start to rock yourself back over onto your back. Shift your hips back to center. Take a deep breath. Then cross the right leg over the left. Pick up your hips off the mat, just hover them and drop them about 2 inches to the right, maybe 3. Then let your knees fall over to the left. And then again, you can straighten the right leg. Doesn't have to be all the way straight. Go ahead and bring yourself back to center. Plant both feet, shift your hips back to the center. And then heel toe your feet out to the edges of the outside of the mat, just a little wider than knee and hip distance apart. And then take some slow windshield wipers to the right, so bringing your knees over to the right and then shifting to the left. Just go through a few rounds of that. Back to center. And take maybe a happy baby or hug your knees into your chest, whatever feels better. If you're doing happy baby, you take your arms on the insides of your calves or your knees and your hands on the outsides of your feet. And go ahead and release that down. Last chance again to get something that will make you more comfortable if you don't have it yet. Pillow, block, blanket, maybe right there nearby. And let your feet stretch towards the bottom two corners of the mat. Your hands out on your sides, palms up, arms on your sides. Take a deep breath here. Hold at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, release. One more. Fill all the way up. Pause at the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, release. And go ahead and release all control of your breath. Feel yourself sink in to the ground beneath you. Relax your scalp, your eyebrows, your face, your chin, your jaw, your shoulders, your shoulder blades, release your arms, your fingers, your hands. Relax your hips, buttocks, your thighs, the fronts of your knees, the backs of your knees, your calves, ankles, soles of your feet, and your toes. Just be. just before you fall asleep, unless you already have. That's fine too. Start to bring some small, deep breaths back into your body, some small movements. Maybe wiggle your fingers or your toes. Shake your head. And then reach your arms up behind your head. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little side to side. And then roll over to one side. Pause here and take in those words once more. Maybe say them to yourself. I deserve rest. And then slowly, gently bring yourself back up to a seat. You can bring your arms up overhead, hands to your heart. Take a deep breath here. And thanks for tuning in. Namaste.